Well, hello, Kiki. How are you? And that is Kiki, my cat, not any YouTube Kiki. Let me get to my comments. Hello, Mary L, Pookie T, Sally Spencer, Andy Cruz, and my Streamlabs bot. Hi, Potty Mouth Mama, Captain Obvious. You guys, I want to do a little bit of an impromptu live because I got some DMs and emails. Hey, honey, boo boo. Yeah, Kiki blew my whole cover. Uh, she's probably gonna come cause trouble. Hi, welcome in. Look, I got some DMs, I got some emails, I got just, friends of the channels between my channel and Lurker's Logic, and people are nice. I have to say, for as many dicks as we run in the community, there are many more nice, um, interesting people around here. So you know, they have ideas, they have recommendations, and I appreciate all of the feedback. And I'm not trying to make out like I got a million messages. I didn't. But I got enough to care, One is enough to care. And I got more than one. And so I don't really credit people with that sort of thing unless they publicly want to say, hey, I said blah, blah, blah. I just kind of keep things on the DL. I've always been like that. Hopefully, you guys can hear me okay. I probably won't be that good at pinning comments or being like ahead of what StreamYard is doing. And this isn't going to be a probably very long, and it's definitely not going to be a pity party stream. But what I wanted to talk about, let me get to my notes, is some feedback I got. And I just want to address some stuff. And it was quite interesting because we have smart people that come into Lurker's Logic and my channel, and they can be opinionated people or they're just supportive people, but they're smart and they make me think, and I appreciate it. And so I want to say thank you to the people who do that. Sally, I don't know where the hell you've been, but we've missed you. Andy Cruz wants to make sure that nobody knows that he sends me feet pics, so I'll go ahead and pin that comment. But yeah, thanks. So people know, and I did talk about this a little bit last night to kind of use myself as an example, that my channel was demonetized, right? For the second time this year, whatever. I'm half lying when I say, oh, it's not a big deal because I'm still talking about it. Everybody can see through my bullshit. But here's the thing, it is truly just one of those things when you're at my level of like, oh man, one more weird thing that happened. It's really not anything more than that. But what I really want people to take away from those conversations isn't about, I'm not getting money from YouTube or, you know, uh, I don't know how to explain it. It's more like we have to be very, very careful with the things that we say. In my case, my explanation from YouTube is a standard you've reused other people's content. So I know what that means. It means that advertisers don't want to pay for ads on my channel. Totally understand why. I wouldn't either. It makes sense. Hi, Gingerlock's mom. Welcome in. So it makes sense because I don't have a lot of incoming, you know what I mean, on my channel. And if I'm doing business, my bottom line is the most important thing to me. But I've been encouraged to talk about a couple things that are related to the current environment that's going on. And I wanted people to understand why I don't talk about things um, that are happening in the world. Hi, Melly C. Welcome in. It's good to see you guys, by the way. Thank you so much for even showing. Honey Boo Boo says, absolutely, our words reach far and can be impactful. I try to think before speaking. Hi, the Brian clan. How are you? I always want to call you the Brain clan. It might be because I think you're a smart person. Or your Brian always gets confused with brain, and I have fake dyslexia. But welcome in. Long time no see. Good to see you. I'm glad you've been lurking, Sally. So let me get to my little notes because I thought about it. I promised people that I would think about it, and before I opened my noodle sucker. So I made a note, but I can't figure out where I put it. I can't figure out what drive I put it in because I have two sets of notes. One that we do collaboratively on Lurkers Logic Monday nights at allegedly 9:30 Eastern. I was hideously late. Um, let's see. And then here, I do actually tend to make notes. So what I wanted to talk about a little bit was I wanted to explain what happens when you tell the truth. And what I'm talking about is the real world. I'm not talking about what happens on, a YouTube in a community where there are issues that impact a certain number of people and you have, this side versus that side, etc. But fundamentally in the world that we live in, we do have dueling sides, right? Like if anybody is paying attention to what's going on in the news right now, they know there's this thing out there. I'm not even sure if we can say the word pandemic. I know that I cannot say the words that other people say on their channels because it could just get deleted. And I'll give you guys some examples of that later. But if I say CV, I'm not talking about a resume. I'm talking about CV. You guys know what I'm talking about. This live might get deleted if I decide to monetize later or to try to. Um, I don't know what's happening in here. Hi, Sin. You're trying to wait. Let's see what Melly C said real quick. I'm trying to warm up to your co-host. Is your opposite. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about, but that's okay. Hi, Lucy's World. It did happen last night. It did. It did. It did happen last night. It's probably still processing. It's probably still processing. So if I say CV, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? I want to talk about, and I'm not here to tell you guys to wear masks or not wear masks or to do this or I mean that's not my space in the world at all. Yeah, I wish I knew what you meant, Melly. Let me know if you can explain. Yeah, it did happen last night. There's your honesty. Um, so I had this conversation with a friend. And basically, because there are channels in our community that talk about this openly, they talk about the current pandemic, they talk about the CV, they give people advice, they talk about what's in the news about it. And because they're talking about the official information, they can say the words that anybody who isn't talking about the official information doesn't want to say. And I'll tell you why we don't want to say it. You can go look at channels that are talking about the current stimulus debates or whatever you want to call it, the stimulus arguments that are going on. Basically, the show that DC is putting on to make you think that they care um, while they're going on recess. Um, and they don't say the words because they're channel building. There's one channel that I regularly listen to. It's called LA Late. And this guy analyzes what's going on in DC, and he's right about things all the time. It's because he's reading the information, discerning what is BS and what isn't, and then reporting on the news. But he doesn't say certain words if he's going to go out of pocket. And there's reasons for this. It's not just about losing your monetization. It's not just about getting your channel deleted. People need to understand that YouTube has editorial control 100% over what is put out on their platform. And because I have pretty deep experience in truther communities where people will have opposing opinions, I have seen many a channel not only lose their payment processor, all their money, all their revenue, their AdSense, their PayPal, their recurring things that they were recurring payment processors, but they've been issued fines as if they were marketing towards children because YouTube can do what YouTube wants to do because they own the platform. And people really need to understand this. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not credit card verification. Exactly. Not credit card verification. She's rather serious. Am I being weird because I'm weird? I don't know. Maybe you're weird, and that's okay. We like weird around here, obviously. But Andy. So if you agree with the official information and you're just kind of regurgitating the official information, you're fine. But if you disagree with that official information, you're taking your financial well being, as far as any money you're possibly making, and your channel into your own hands, and at some point, maybe your life. I'm I'm just being honest. This is how I feel, and I have seen it platform. I have seen it happen. I have seen people who had a channel of 14 years of videos. Stefan Molyneux was deleted. It took YouTube 1 second to do it. 1 second. That's all it takes. Um, can you have a link to that channel? Sure. It's actually just if you put this in to YouTube, it will instantly come up. I'm going to type it here because I'm not at my computer. If you type this LA late into your search uh, on YouTube, that channel will come up. He built over 150,000 subscribers in less than 90 days. And there's a reason. It's because people are focused, hyper focused on the stimulus package. Um, so the retaliation that happens because of the the rules that YouTube has to follow, by the way, because they are in bed with the government, as are anybody else in business. I'm sorry. Microsoft, Google, they have to conform to the government. Facebook, they have to be in bed with the government or they wouldn't be allowed to operate. That's just the way it is. I don't know this because I made it up. I know this because I worked for some of these companies. Okay. And so it just is. And if you look at Alphabet's holdings, if you look at I mean, just the fact that the FTC could impose a $64,000 fine on an individual means that somehow YouTube cut a deal to be held harmless. Now, normally, being held harmless or not liable and making an individual responsible means that you are what's called a common carrier. And a common carrier would be like Verizon or AT&T or the old Bell. Like the phone company is a common carrier. They're just letting people say what they want. But once you start exercising editorial control, you become you assume the liability, right? So what YouTube has craftfully done is release themselves, and they're no longer going to be held harmless. But they will sure as hell make sure that whatever you're saying fits the public story. There are people who have channels. They talk about CV. They talk about vaccinations. They talk about the government. They never use the words. They just show you them. They don't say them because they don't have $64,000 to pay for some bogus claim that's made against their channel. Do you understand what I'm saying? I hope you guys are able to follow. I probably sound nuts. But yeah, if you look at the settlement that the FTC and YouTube came to, it was regarding marketing towards children back in at the end of last year. At the end of last year, it got incorporated into terms of service. Um, yeah, it was a settlement. the FTC sued Alphabet, Google, and won. Of course, they win. They're the government. So that's where I'm coming from when I say things like, the things that I say, I think, and my opinions can't really be shared on YouTube when it comes to what's happening in the world. There are only certain things I can say because I don't have $64,000 laying around, you know what I mean, to pay if I get some bogus charge. And I'll just say that because I know when I get demonetized, YouTube tells me I was demonetized for reuse of another creator's content. And in my studio, there is nothing that is another creator's content. Um, I know that they can just say what they need to say, put you in that bucket, and it happens. That's all. Not a big deal. By the way, I need to kill that become a member thing because I don't have a membership anymore. Good. I'm glad I'm making sense. Hi, Michelle. Welcome in. Hey, Dana. What's up? Long time no see. So that's how the platform can, I called it retaliate. It's not really retaliation, it's self preservation. YouTube, we need to be thinking of YouTube when we're looking at news stories and things like that as an arm of the media or the Associated Press. And these are standards that are in place. Hey, Nada, this live is dedicated to Nada's Kitchen, just letting you know. Because what I wanted to articulate to you, I couldn't type. It's okay. I was kind of talking about the reasons why I can't say what I would like to say on YouTube. And I'll leave it up for a day. Um, but yeah, so there's that. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about what is happening in government. That is the official information. So I can say this. That's FPUC. And you guys might not care. You all may have jobs. I hope that you do, or you're independently wealthy. Um, you're not in any way, shape, or form dependent on unemployment. But I've recently heard some disturbing remarks being made by, and I won't call them content creators because let's face it, I'm not creating content. I'm a channel owner. I own this channel. It's my responsibility for better or worse. I'm not really creating content. But here's what's happening. Oh God. Yeah, and then there's this sin. Exactly. Um yeah. Well, no, I was thinking about what you were saying, Nada. Nada's Kitchen said, I didn't know you meant live right now. I missed the beginning. Yeah, I needed to think about it for a moment and then I wanted to respond to you, but I didn't have a way to do that in writing. Bear with me 1 second. Okay. Let me try to get into a little bit if anybody cares about FPUC. And the FPUC is the Federal Pandemic Unemployment Compensation Program. And that's something that was enacted through the CARES Act. And I'm sure everybody remembers from civics class, right? The US Constitution and the way that things work when bills become laws and the things that happen. Now, what has to happen when it comes to spending is spending has they call it the power of the purse. That comes from the Congress. The Congress has to approve federal spending, period. Okay. What Trump signed into what the executive order that Trump signed regarding taxes is different. Taxes and forbearance on the taxes itself is different. He can absolutely get away with that. They can challenge it, but he'll get away with that. Well, on the payroll taxes, and I shouldn't say get away with it because it does alleviate taxation on businesses. If those businesses choose to provide that back to their employees, then bravo to them. They are not required to do so. So you may never see a penny of it if you are in the workforce right now. And I hope to God that you are. Yeah. The Congress has what's called the power of the purse, and it's a subsection of the Constitution. And so any spending has to happen through them. What we saw um, the other day with the signing of those 4 executive orders on Saturday from the golf course in New Jersey. And I'm not pro or against Trump. Okay. I hate everybody. Let's just get that out there. I hate everybody. Uh, they, what he did was basically tell these guys, get back in the room, Schumer, Pelosi, Mnuchin, and Meadows, and figure something out. Um, and this is a campaign kind of move, right? This is to make us think there's an actual kind of campaign. Well, thank you, Nada. I'm not. I'm a little bit scared. I'm not gonna lie. Um, so it's kind of a kick in the butt, but it's also like he's doing really bad in the polls. It's very complicated in that regard, but the simplicity that we need to understand if you are on unemployment is we will probably never see that money. Oregon is okay. They might do it. Washington State says it will take them 5 weeks to 5 months to implement anything that is not the $600 because it requires such extensive changes to computer systems basically that were created in the 70s and 80s, written in COBOL. And if you don't know what COBOL is, I don't blame you because neither does anybody else. Oklahoma is a really good example. They have one person in their unemployment system that can work on COBOL. Can you imagine what that guy is making? He's making bank. So if you know COBOL and you're looking for a job, you are needed. But so the reality of the situation is there are states like Ohio and West Virginia that have just come out and said, we can do this. We're going to do it. You guys are going to see this on your unemployment in the next couple of pay cycles. Great, right? But in reality, most states just can't do it. What held up that bill is Andrew Cuomo and the state of New York and some part state of California, right? Because we have Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi from each one of those states. They're trying to get additional money infused into the states. And people can say this isn't true. It is documented. I can provide the documentation. So, what everybody that's really a market analyst is saying right now, that's paying attention to these people, is they will come to an agreement. They will find a dollar amount. It will be all federal money, not 300 from the Fed and $100 from the state. And something will happen through an act. I don't know if that's true. I'm not a psychic of the world of YouTube. I can't predict anything. Um, so I don't really know. Um, Most states don't have the $100 to kick in. It can't happen. Exactly, Captain Obvious. Some do. Oregon came out and said, "Hey, we're flush. We're good." Washington State said, "We're insolvent. We can't do it." Um, and by the way, that money is coming out of FEMA. It's coming out of FEMA. It's called the DUA, the Disaster Unemployment Assistance Program. So if you want to use money that's been set aside for natural disasters, if you want to use money that's been set aside for hurricanes, major earthquakes, I don't know, testing for CV, because this is a disaster allegedly, right? Then you're looking at depleting these funds. And so let's say it takes them 5 weeks to implement it. They could have 5 to 6 weeks of money in the coffers to pay it. So at best case scenario in Washington State, it would take the amount of time they have in money to get it up and running. It's not going to happen. So best case scenario, the Fed, this is heard in a federal court by a judge, and it just gets turned down. And these four, Mnuchin, Meadows, Pelosi, and Schumer, just get together and say, "Listen, we're going to cut out this $1 trillion." They meet in the middle and they come up with an infusion. But all we're really doing is prolonging the agony. And I hate to say it, but eventually it will crash. It will crash. Um, yeah, he was just gonna announce a vice presidential running mate. Yeah, Biden. And that's a little frightening too because I don't know if whichever side of the coin you look at, he doesn't know where he is half the time, and the other guy is making stuff up. So, it's six of one and half dozen of the other, if you ask me. So that's it. Um, so what I believe, and this is just my opinion, and like I said, opinions aren't facts. I'm entitled to my opinion in my world, not on YouTube, but in my world. Um, but what I believe is either going to happen is we'll either have some form of a new CV bill, a stimulus, because what they're trying to do is pump money back into the economy. In other words, give Captain Obvious, $1,200. Captain Obvious's significant other spouse, if she's a joint filer, $1,200, and then either $500 or $1,200 per dependent, up to three dependents. They're trying to do that. And they've agreed to these pieces. They've agreed to compensate people for hazard pay. Um, there are a lot of complications and problems with that, and those are things that I'm not gonna definitely get into. I could at a later time, but it's not worthwhile when you have really great channels out there doing it, and I think LA Late is definitely giving you some good information on how the talks are going, although he's very optimistic, but I love him so much. So what I think is gonna happen is we'll either have a new bill for stimulus just to prolong the agony of the crash. And I get it, man. Nobody wants to be homeless. Believe me, I've been there, done that. Um, or the talks will continue to appear to be broken down and we'll just get the economic fallout more quickly. Um, it just depends. It 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 really depends. I think this week is gonna tell us a lot because they were gonna have a deal 2 weeks ago, then they were gonna have a deal by last Friday. They promised us a deal by last Friday. That obviously didn't happen. We saw what we saw happen with Trump on Saturday, and then here we are. It is Tuesday of the following week. They're supposed to be on recess, but the 4 people that matter, the ones that are making the agreement, are talking and ready to call the representatives, the Congress back in session to agree. Now, once the Congress gets called back into session to vote, right? If it passes, President Trump could sign off on this within a matter of a couple hours or 2 days. And then you would have a bill. Once it's a bill, it can be funded federally. But until then, it just can't. Um, so I think our alternatives as individuals is that we have to be extremely creative with our money and our time. Like your time has never been more valuable, and we need to look out for ourselves and not depend on anything or anybody else to bail us out because it just might not happen. Um, so your boys did not get squat the last time. No working over 18 college students. So that's going to change. Allegedly, the speculation from the insiders is that the speculation from insiders that are reporting on this is that the New Deal, God, I hate saying that, but the New Deal uh, will include adult dependents. Okay, so if your kids are claimed on another person's taxes, um, and also maybe working minors. It will include more people on SSI, people on disability, railroad benefits, and if you subscribe to that LA Late channel, he breaks it down really really well. He does like a 30-minute video, or a 20-minute video on what's going on with FPUC. Then he'll do one on what's going on for the stimulus check. Then he does one for what's going on with this sort of thing. You know, each piece, including hazard pay, and including what's going on with adult dependents or people that can be claimed on another person's income tax, or what if you just had a baby 6 months ago? Allegedly, they're going to give a check to the people, to the baby. But if the IRS doesn't know that baby exists because it doesn't have a social security number, it isn't claimed on anybody's taxes in 2019 because it's only 6 months old, they're not going to pay you for it. So there's things you need to do to make that happen. Um, the Brain Clan says we need hazard pay for having to listen to these politicians. I could not agree more, and that's why I usually don't. I usually don't speak. No, you totally made sense. Hi, little lady. What's up? You totally made sense, Captain Obvious. I know. Speak to text does stink. And again, Captain Obvious. That is probably the biggest takeaway that people should have is just don't count your chickens before they've hatched. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Veterans, it depends. I mean, if they are human beings in the tax system, at one time, they had a social security number, were paying taxes, yes, they would be entitled to a benefit. Andy Cruz is independent, so he said we need to talk about that on the DL. Nada's Kitchen. I just hope Americans understand what times they are actually already in and what is going to be happening, especially when the election is over, no matter who wins. You know, uh, that's one of the things that's been very challenging for me to understand is I know that there are quite a few people that exist in our community exist. There are people in our community that are channel owners and their lives haven't changed at all since this has hit, right? I've actually heard people wishing to lose their jobs. Trust me, baby. Yeah, I don't want to lose your job. Um, but there are people whose lives have not changed at all. They've gone on the same vacations, they've gotten the same, AdSense, they've gotten the same, they do the same things. And then there are people that their kids are now home. They've had to homeschool, or they've been told not to, or now their kids are going to go to school 1 day a week or 3 days a week. And some people have special needs kids. There are so many variables that affect us that it's very, very important that we don't, in my opinion, I would tell my friends this, and that's why I'm saying it here. I would tell my friends, don't get too bogged down in what the government's doing because it's primarily a show right now. Something will get signed, and I believe something will get signed. Um, Nobody knows when, but until it's enacted as law, just prepare yourselves. Like, do the best you can to be self-sustaining. And yeah, we've been in this for decades and people just haven't realized it because it hasn't hit them in the gullet yet. You missed the emojis. And that's another thing I can casually speak about in just a moment. Hey, thank you, next. I hope you're doing okay, girl. I hope you're doing all right. I hope you're doing all right. You bought pigs with your last check. You might get a fatter one this time. You might get some more fat pigs. We love you. Thank you. Next. It is all a show. They've been they've been using the media to argue for ever. And I remember in 2016, I think 2016 is when most the people that I knew deleted their Facebooks because they're like, I can't take this anymore. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. And my opinions haven't changed. It's just I got reminded. I got a big reminder of what a joke this really is and how little we matter. We really don't. I'm gonna tell you something else that happened. There are major corporations, but there are also smaller companies, and I can say this firsthand: startup companies that were multi-million-dollar companies that filed for the Paycheck Protection Program. And this was supposed to be something where you could get a loan if you maintained the majority of your workforce. That loan amount could be forgiven, and it could be for millions of dollars, depending on the valuation of your company. What our CEO did was he paid himself and his officers, which is allowed. Okay. There hasn't been one round of paycheck protection. There have been multiples. I think we're up to the third or fourth now. They got two. They paid themselves, the officers of the company. On the second round, they paid their investors. They assured everybody in the company that they were good until 2021, and then they let go all the higher paid staff. So, guess what? Those loans are still being forgiven. And people need to remember this. This is a corporate bailout. It was not meant to keep our jobs in place. Hey, Anita Back Rub, what's up? I hope you get that back rub soon, girl. I always laugh when I hear your name. It's cute. But yes, prayers. Thank you. Next. Listen, you guys, that's kind of that. I was going to go back and look. Andy, we got to talk about that weed, bruh. Oh, the emojis. Okay. So that comes with being monetized, right? And it's the join button was a thing, like at the bit, I don't know, what was it, February or March? They're like, yeah, they started like kind of giving these out like candy and stuff. And I did not ever classify my channel as a gaming channel, but I was playing games on my channel. So if you look at my channel, it says it's a gaming channel. It's not. I might be. I might turn into a gaming channel and just start playing first person shooter games because I got a million of them and see what's up. But it depends what happens in real life. But yeah, God, I gotta delete this bot. I mean, honestly, that's ridiculous. But I don't know. Do I even want a join button? For the emojis, it's great. I saw Jenny Jen Jen got a join button. And I think she just I don't DM with her or anything. Um, but when I looked at her channel and her join button, I'm like, she probably just wants the emojis because that's one of the things that people really like are the emojis. And they're still there. They're in my studio. I can add it back at a later time. It just may or may not be worth it. I don't know. I'm not, you know what, Captain Obvious, I'm not on a political side. And I'm just not. I hate them all. I hate them all. And the reason why I hate them all is because, look, I don't want to have to delete this yet, but I understand the puppetry that's happening. And I'm not saying that there isn't political gain being had because boy, is there. Like, these guys, you can't do that job without being a monster. You would never get in the job without being a monster. So, I could drop my PayPal is actually in the about me. But it's not, I don't think it's in my little rotation thing. Thank you for asking, Captain Obvious. That's very sweet of you. It's in the about me thing. I'm not, one of the things we talked about last night on Lurker's Logic is that, some people are okay, but we're hoping, I know I'm hoping, I believe that Speak Truth with Love is hoping that we'll contribute our money to a channel that's helpful or our time to a channel that's helpful because that is our money right now. But yeah, I mean, if you want to send me a PayPal, it's in my about me, but I definitely would never ask or expect for that. But thank you so much. Um, you love my hate. Yeah, I don't have a side. I'm on the side of me. I'm on my side. And the same thing goes in this community. I'm on my side. I have friends in this community, but at the end of the day, I don't have a side. I don't hate there's not a single person on YouTube that I hate. I hate a lot of what they say, on both sides, on both sides. And yeah. Did you get yes, I did, Lucy's World. I did. And I didn't want to talk about it because I didn't want it to be a big deal. I didn't want people to feel sorry for me. I'm very emotional about work because I've been working full time since I was 14, 13 or 14. And I've been on my own since I was 16. And so for me to not have a job is crazy. It's just nuts. But I work in sports entertainment. So what was one of the first things that happened when this hit was everything went down. Um, there were no games, and I remember reading that report. And I don't talk about my life here because people do use it against you, or they'll say you're e-begging. And I would just rather not get any money at all on YouTube than have anybody, I mean, I just would rather not. But One of the things that happened was I remember I read a report when I was going back into work because I had those 2 days off when they said that they were ending, like they were going to cancel spring training, and it said no events tomorrow, and I thought, wow, that's it, we're done, we're absolutely done. And one of the things that I would really hope that people will think about right now is when they take away something, when do we ever get it back? Think about the Patriot Act and the Department of Homeland Security, you guys. I probably shouldn't even be saying these words. I understand publicly why those things made sense to people and how they were sold to us as citizens. But think about when you go through an airport now, what happens with TSA. Think about the freedoms that we had that we don't have from the year 2000. I just thought of in the year 2000. You guys remember Conan O'Brien? In the year 2000. Think about how much things have changed between 2000 and 2002, right? A lot. Okay, hang on one second. Um, Let me just check something. If you guys can tell me any of the civil liberties or the freedoms that we've ever lost that we've gotten back, I really, really would. I'd love to know what they are. Sorry, I'm missing comments. What's up, Pepper? Flower Power. Welcome in, guys. Sorry, I was on a little tear. It's okay, Lucy's World. You know what? I was looking for other work. Hi, Sabrina. Yeah, no, it was back in April. But see, that's the thing. How can you complain about something that's happening to everybody? Like, it's like complaining about demonetization. How can you complain about something that's happening to everybody? I find it difficult, but that's okay. It does stink, but thank you, Potty Mouth Mama, for dropping that. But yeah, definitely don't. Andy's back. He just wants to go pee on his weed plants. Okay, that's good. Thank you, Sally. Thank you, thank you. Sabrina, hi, Pepper. They're pretty big and getting by with it. Sorry, I missed what you were commenting on, Pepper. Nana's Kitchen says, I don't have a side. I don't hate anyone. I'm not invested enough. I just like listening while I do life. See, I hate listening to it. I don't like listening to it, man. Flower Power. What's up, girl? It's okay, Lucy's World. You know what? Everything happens for the best, ultimately. Ultimately. I talked to my friends when it happened. I let my friends know. I cried to my friends about it like a little bitch. That's what you do. Pepper says, "Hey, my sister, Flower Power. They never Lucy's World. This is true. They never let a good crisis go to waste. All right. So let me say thank you to, I believe, is that you? Is that you? Jeez. I think this is Captain Obvious. Thank you to my, oh my God, I don't hate you, my sweet friend. Thank you so much. I do not hate you. I love you. I wish you chatted, but you never do. So I don't ever give you credit for any PayPal or donos that you provide. But I definitely hope you guys, if you need money and you need things, please hang on to it. You make Eritrea listen to the drama, says speak truth with love. You don't make me. You don't make me. There was life before 9/11 and life post 9/11, and no good, no, they never let a good crisis go to waste. It's very, very true. And I got to tell you guys, when I saw that FEMA was the source for this unemployment money, girl, I was like, where is Jesse Ventura when we need him? And then someone pointed out to me he may be a shill. Is that you? I don't know. Somebody, okay, listen. Somebody with the letter K sent me a PayPal. Thank you very much. And then my other friend, someone said, thank you for your streams. I appreciate you very, very much. And then my other young lady here says, do you hate me with a laughing face? No, we all adore you and we appreciate you. Okay, so that was you. Thank you so much, uh, Captain Obvious. I will. I will. There's a fund. There is a weed fund. It's mostly YouTube. Um, but I haven't actually been using much weed lately. Maybe that's what's wrong with me. Pepper, I think that's what's happening to many. It is. You're so funny. He's in a bunker. If he's smart, he's down at the Bush bunker in, is it Guatemala or Mexico? I can't remember. Thank you. Thank you so much. Um uh what'd you say? Ace Ventura Pet Detective. See, that's who we need on the case. I gotta kill this member thing because I don't have a membership anymore. And I can't log into my Streamlab. Is it Streamlab? Oh, Stream Elements. Yeah, I'm an idiot. So there's that. But I wanted to address, I hope it's okay. Nada sent me a DM. I want to talk about what she was saying because I could easily come up and talk to people about, and in fact host a panel, have an open panel where we could argue about it, and we could be like, no, da 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 is the best guy ever, and AOC for president, and whatever you guys want to say, I would be all about it. The problem is, I saw way too many people in 2016 lose friends, like actual good people in their life because they had an opinion that was different. Um, and then also, again, just circling back to the beginning of this live, there are certain things that if you say them, YouTube will deplatform you. You guys need to look at Stefan Molyneux. Look at Stefan Molyneux. People think that he was a shill for the government and still got removed off YouTube. Alex Jones, as crazy as Alex Jones is, look at what happened to him. He lost YouTube. He lost Facebook. He lost Twitter. And then when he was still talking on his app, he lost his payment processor. And they got him right in the boo boo. They got him right in the boo boo. And I do think that that guy's a lunatic. Okay, that's my opinion. I think he's crazy. But Alex Jones, and I do think that he's working for the man. Just saying. But that's just my opinion. I don't have any basis in fact there. I have some, evidence I could probably put forth, but who gives a shit? The problem is that at the end of the day, if you start silencing, everybody should care when that happens. Even if you hate the guy, everybody should care when that happens because if they can do it to him, they can do it to you, and they will do it to you. They will do it to you. They've done it now. Stefan Molyneux, 14 years of consistent content. Love him or hate him, right? Agree or disagree. 14 years of consistent, and they removed him for hate speech. I think they removed him for a hate speech on 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 a political basis. On a political basis. I that's just my opinion. I could be wrong if anybody has opposing information. Yeah. I like Steven. I think you mean Stefan. Captain Obvious. I don't miss him though. I don't miss him either. I don't miss him either. But the problem is it's like saying that we should just erase somebody that we disagree with. That means if I disagree with you, I should erase you. That's like me saying that there's somebody on YouTube that I think is a total dirt bag, right? Running their mouth, uh, scamming, whatever. That you don't have the brain cells to discern whether or not you should interpret that information as fact. And then what you end up with is just the crazy people talking because they're the only ones that are willing to take the risk to continue running their noodle suckers. I hate saying noodle suckers. I don't know where I got that from. Is somebody calling somebody a noodle sucker around here? They are, right? Sorry, no offense. You're not a noodle sucker, whoever's calling you that. Um, Native Kitchen says Stefan is an old rival of mine. Love to battle with that guy. That's the thing, and you can't disagree with him. And I agree. Speak Truth of Love says they deplatform Alex to normalize deplatforming because he is a low hanging fruit. That dude comes off like a nutbag. That dude said very unpopular things. He talked about, uh, you know, Handy Sook. He talked about, yeah, I'm not dyslexic. I did that on purpose. He's very dramatic and he turns red. And he did have people that told him, Paul Joseph Watson said, dude, don't talk about Sandy Hook like that. Just like, don't do that. It's a bad idea. And, but he's low hanging fruit. He was easy to go after. And, Captain Obvious says, I don't miss the guy, but we should be concerned when we see these people getting removed. Hi, Miss Lennon. Long time no see. Good to see you. Oh, I do? Okay. Let me swap. I apologize. I wonder if something's rubbing on it. Hang on one second. Okay, let me know if that's any better for the noise. Clicking on something. It's probably clicking on my zipper because I had to throw on a hoodie because it got down to 74 here and I've gotten my apartment finally cooled down and dehumidified. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I would imagine they are too, Nada. And you know what? I think he backed up all his content onto BitChute, so he may. You don't have to watch him to miss them. I really don't want to see just members of the KKK talking about race. Let's put it that way. I would like to see anybody, right, have the ability to discuss things and not be silenced on the basis of you guys would know what I'm saying? Like the KKK, we know they're effed up, right? We know it. But they can say what they want because they're crazy. Because people know that they'll write them off as crazy. What you don't want is I don't want to see anybody get deleted just because they have a difference of opinion. Oh my goodness. What? Aw, thank you. I just got my friend just sent me a PayPal for Kiki. She's sitting here licking herself. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. You're so cute. Clicking or something. Is it better now? It's gone. Okay, it was my zipper. It's because I finally got the humidity down. I had to throw on a Sherpa. Potty Mouth Mama says our community is trying to do that every day, trying to silence another person. Not really. See, this I could get in trouble right now. You think they're trying to silence people, or you think they're trying to be crazy? Now, there's a term my friend Speak Truth with Love uses called right fighting. And I used to be a right fighter. And a right fighter, the way I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, is somebody who has to be right. They will fight to be right. And we're not talking about the Beastie Boys. They're not just fighting for the right to party. They're fighting because they have to be right. And I get it if it's something important to me, but the things that are important to me aren't important to other people. But I would always, always defend their right to fight. Um, especially when we're just talking about, I bitch about people that argue on YouTube, okay? But I defend my right to bitch about people bitching. And I would defend their right to bitch. I don't have to listen to them. And lately I have been because we have Lurker's Logic. Captain Obvious says Alex played with fire, but I get where you're coming from. The Handy Sick crap was wrong in my opinion. Yeah, and I never looked into it. I don't know. I don't even know the official story. But if people lost people, I mean, it's heartbreaking. I know there are people that did look into it and they think the official story is lies. I think they should be allowed to say what they want to say. Um, and again, it does kind of speak to, unfortunately, what we were talking about last night with becoming a victim of words. If, let's say that, God forbid, somebody in my family passed away in a tragedy, right? Like that's never happened. But let's say that somebody in my family passes away in a tragedy, and somebody comes to me and they say, with a large platform, and they say, "No, that didn't happen. It's a lie. It's a false flag, or whatever." Um, I would be pissed. Now, if people were coming to my house, which apparently there were people like crazy, quote unquote, crazy people. This is the official story. I don't know if it's true. Apparently, there were fans of Alex Jones going to a victim's house and threatening something or arguing. And that's kind of what these things are about. There are laws in place to prevent these things from happening. So you would file, protection orders and things like that. I understand it takes time. And that's why the creator, the owner of the channel, does have to have does have a responsibility here in saying, please don't go to other channels and spread hate. Please do not, do these things. Don't go right fight for me. Don't go white knight for me. Don't go fight a battle for me, because that just brings um whatever. My watch thinks I'm being active right now, by the way. My you know what I'm saying? Like, don't say things on my behalf. My voice is loud enough for me. I don't need you guys to do this. Let's just get together and think about this. Did this happen? Did it not happen? What do we think? What do we feel? What do we want people to know? He doesn't approach things that way. And that's the problem, in my opinion. But I still would defend his right to say what he wants to say. And I apologize for the popping sound on the mic. Is it still there? Is it still there? You don't care what anyone thinks of Alex Jones. Silencing him was a clear shot across the bow. Booyah. Do people still say booyah? I feel old. I am old. Okay, I'm behind. Hi, Turquoise. How are you? How are you? How are you? It seems to be okay now. Yeah, I have to throw in a damn Sherpa. Nada, I gotta ask you. I think that you're north of me across a border. And I can tell what you've been listening to. So Nada says, does anyone want to live in a nanny state? No. So don't allow it to happen to others so it won't happen to you. One of my favorite things that Stefan Molyneux once said was, if we had to write the check every month to fund some of the stuff that happens, he was talking about military bases. It was in the era of Ron Paul running for president. He said there would be a lot of people that did not support our troops. And he was absolutely right. Not the troops as individuals. He was talking about the state. He was talking about, if I had to go into my pocket and write a check to fund military installations, all of our soldiers would be coming home. And we would no longer be the police of the world as the United States of America. And I have to say, if you think about it, it's kind of true. It's kind of true. Turquoise, I haven't seen you forever. Potty Mouth Mama. I think they think if they speak about a certain creator enough, that creator will disappear. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, that's true too. I mean, there are people that are like, hey, my voice is louder than your voice. I have more people in my chat than you have in your chat. More people like me than like you. I get more PayPal than you do, or super chat, or whatever. I have more support basically than you. I'm better than you. I'm smarter than you. I'm wiser than you. And so my voice is the only voice that should count here. And you should just go away. And if not, I'll go into your real life. And we all have our opinions on that. I thought we all thought going real life was wrong until recently. I've heard otherwise. And if I'm mistaken, please come correct me. But yeah, my personal beliefs and the people that I choose to um, have chosen to associate with over time here on YouTube disagree, with the going real life stuff. And so, as far as I know, I don't know what people do in their spare time. I'm just kidding. I don't know why the F. Yeah, whatever. I don't know why it keeps asking people to be a member, but my backup channel is a great idea. That's a really great way you can support me for free. Just subscribe to that backup channel because the damn thing, I don't know what's going to happen with this one. I don't think I'm a right fighter. So far, no. I used to be. When I was younger, it was more important for me to be right than it was for me to be nice, I think. And years ago I kind of just gave up. Sometimes when I'm trying to give people advice and they won't listen, I do try to beat it into their skull, but I've even given up on that lately too. I've become a, you know what, you'll figure it out type of person. You'll get used to it. You'll figure it out kind of person. And no, Nita, I don't want to live in a nanny state. I definitely don't. Miss Lennon says we have become a victim of PC. You got that right, girl. My opinion. Okay, cool. Thank you guys. Thank you for the sound checks. I apologize for that. Miss Lennon says, no going real life. Turquoise says, I'm good. Nice to see you. Native's Kitchen. I'm Canadian. Yes, ma'am. No going real life. Turquoise is also very against going real life. And going real life is anything outside of YouTube, sweetie. Sally Spencer, cowards on YouTube take YouTube crap into the real life because that is the only way they can kinda win. And she's right. They only kinda win because I think it was we pointed out last night. There was a kudos given to the Shannon 681, I think it was from Speak Truth with Love mentioned. There is really no winning on YouTube because what good does that really ultimately do? It gives you like 30 seconds gratification. Like, ah, you want someone to make a boatload of money? Go real life on them because that is a very profitable situation, even in hard times. People will feel very, very sorry for people who have horrible things happen to them. And that might be justified, by the way, as opposed to people just being offended by the words that are said, like, oh, your list sucks, or I'm going to do a country accent every time X happens. That's not that offensive. I mean, to me, you know, I don't find it offensive, but I find it unwatchable a lot of times. Um, you know what I would like to do? I would like to buy an island. I think we talked about this on Plymouth Mama. We can have, there really aren't many islands for sale that I know of. I think nobody wants to live on Epstein's Island. I don't. That thing needs to be blown to bits. Um, or, crossed off the map. And then there's, who was it? Branson. Steve Branson. Steve Branson? Is that his name? The Virgin Airlines weirdo guy? That dude, his stuff got devastated a couple years ago through tropical storms and hurricanes. I want to say like 3 years ago. Is it Peter or Steve? I can't remember. All these weirdos. Miss Lennon, yeah, no one listens anyways. I've given up. What have you given up on? I'm listening. I feel like Fraser Crane. I'm listening. You'd rather be PC. It makes life easier, in my opinion. I mean, that's the thing is that it does really prevent arguments. If you just let people say whatever they want to say, and you can usually tell if somebody's up for debate and you could test the waters. Um, but yeah, I actually prefer people being honest with me if they can. Um, and again, opinions are just opinions. Opinions aren't facts. We're allowed to have our own opinion. We're not allowed to have our own facts. Some things are just not variable, but a lot of things are. Pepper. Yes, and I think someone figured that out on here. Uh-oh. What do you mean, Pepper? What did they figure out on here? I need another brain. Does anybody know? I need a brain transplant. Sally Spencer, even if I had the energy to hate anyone on YouTube, I still would never go real life. They know that. They know that. We know that, I think. Captain Obvious says you can buy islands on Lake Michigan. Pretty reasonable, too. Put that in the back of your skulls, you guys. Mine Island. Um, that's cool. Lake Michigan. Chilly, but probably beautiful. Miss Lennon, I have to disagree with that, Captain Obvious. Now everything is in question. Going PC has messed up people and life. Yeah, I can see both sides of that. Native's Kitchen. See, I'm being PC. Native's Kitchen. I should start doing morning live streams. We need some just plain women chit chat that has nothing to do with drama. Yeah, you should. If you feel it, do it. I'll be there to support you if I can. Early morning, is that what you said? Morning? If it's not too early, I'll be there. Um, you're never PC because you don't know what it is and what isn't. Yeah, I hear you on that, Sally. I think you're pretty PC. You're opinionated, but you're kind. Also, Sally reads books. If you guys didn't know that, she reads a mean book. Who said that? People don't like facts. That's very true, Captain Obvious. The truth hurts, but it will set you free. And first, it will probably get you deplatformed. Island fundraiser, says Nadia's Kitchen. Nada's Kitchen. Why do I always fall for that? That fake dyslexia. Thank you for the Kiki treat. I appreciate that so much. You're so cute. The Potty Mouth Mama, we need our island so badly. Island money, honey. Yeah, it's going to take more than a PayPal to move to an island, but thank you. Captain Obvious. Some even have lighthouses. Sucks in the water is imagine. Oh, she's doing speech to text. You guys are funny. Ha ha, funny fun. No, I mean, Kiki is stocked up on cat treats. I haven't been using a lot of weed lately. That's probably part of my problem. I got a Pax, and I don't know how I feel about it because it makes me cough. I don't really love it so much. Also, September 19th, there's some legislation that kicks in that was signed into law about not shipping vape products. And I started my, oh my goodness, somebody's going swimming. I started my channel on vaping. And I don't know if anybody's noticed, but a lot of these vape channels can no longer even really talk about vaping. Oh my goodness, let's see what's up. Hang on one second. Aw, you're so cute. Thank you so much. Look at you. Kiki's a little money maker. Sucks in the winter. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine Captain Obvious it does because even here, where there aren't giant chunks of ice and stuff out on the islands in the winter, it can be kind of it's cold as hell. Miss Lennon says I respect people's feelings, so if they want to be PC, more power to them. But don't force PC down everyone's throats. Last I will mention, that's true because that is really the issue with the politically correct culture is that people want to tell you how to behave instead of just saying, you know what, I don't agree with what you're saying. I feel like you're crappy, therefore I unsubscribe. To quote Rich Lux. Mama Four Sons Lola. Good afternoon, Eritrean chat. You all should have live streams marked the other side of drama, not this side or that side. Well, I don't really know. And it was a really good question posed to me by Nita's Kitchen about like where do I want to even fit in? I've been asking myself this for like 8 freaking months. I don't know. I think originally I wanted to come here and help people that wanted to talk about vaping. I'll still talk about that from time to time if there's something important that I'm aware of and I keep track of. I really haven't been that aware of keeping track of it. I really couldn't care less what the government does anymore. They're trying to restrict all kinds of freedoms on us. I totally get it. I've been aware of this the majority of my life. It's not news. It's not fake news. It's not new news. It's bullshit. It's total fucking bullshit. And all you can do is hope for the best, prepare for the worst, and pray that you made the right choices in life. For example, I was hoping I was going to buy a house next year. That's not happening. Sorry. Sorry. But the real estate market might just bottom out and we might be able to grab a house for 300,000 maybe. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. Yeah. You guys are talking in generalities here. Which is a politically correct thing to do, right? Um, Mama Four Sons Lola, I don't fit in anywhere, but that's okay with me. I hear you, sis. I hear you. I don't either. Nina's Kitchen. You know what? You have to carve out your own space, I think. Nina's Kitchen. This is exactly how I feel. Let people speak how they want and deal with consequences of their actions and words. Did we not all learn this as children? We did. People policing people's words is ludicrous. It is. It is. I think we did all learn it as children. People got bored with it and decided that they wanted to still keep having little mini feds. You're a lone weirdo. Hey, I'm a lone weirdo too. Join the club. You don't aim to fit in anywhere. Well, I just wanted to come. I could have multiple islands with 300,000. Nice. Well, let's get that fundraiser going. Screw going on a cruise. We're buying an island. I'm just kidding. But at the end of the day, look, the banks are going to have to remain solvent, which we'll see how much longer that happens. And, you know, coming down the pipe as far as what I'm going to do on this channel, I don't know. Um, as far as the memberships and all this, I don't see it being a good place to talk about super serious topics because our community is just not mature. I shouldn't say our community. There are a lot of elements about our community that are very immature, And somebody Nina brought up that haven't we learned these sorts of ethics, so to speak. What we're talking about is behavioral patterns, the way that people behave. And the patterns of behavior that I see are very immature. And a lot of times it's calling somebody else immature who's being immature. It's like they didn't get out their fights in high school or something. I don't know. Kiki has been trolling me like a mother, by the way. Um, Elements. Yeah. Hey, I'm being PC, okay? I'm ready for someone. Who is it? Is it Miss Lennon? Miss Lennon's gonna come kick me in the booty and unsubscribe. Just kidding. I'm totally kidding. The potty mouth mama elements. Yes, learn behavior. I don't know. I mean, there is some reward to being a douchebag on here, at times. And that's what I think we talked about a little bit, um, as far as being a victim of words. The other side of that is when you're the perpetrator and victimizing somebody with words, right? If that's possible. So being a victim of words, you've allowed somebody to victimize you using words. And so you've allowed somebody to become a perpetrator. Oftentimes, if that person that's a perpetrator is seen as your favorite person, let's say, and you like that sort of thing, you might reward them for going after someone. So it can be very profitable, I think. You know what? I'm gonna say this because I'm not at liberty to like say anything that's told to me in private. But there's a couple people who have missing animals right now. And I'm praying for them that they find their pets, their kitties soon. And you just reminded me of this. Miss Lennon says, "Sorry, Eritrea, I missed what you said. Darn kitty. It wasn't important, I promise, Miss Lennon." But yeah, I hope anybody that has a missing pet um, finds their pet soon and that they're healthy and they're okay. Hi, Stasia. How are you? Um, oh, Sally Spencer says the hate train conductor. That's not me. So if anybody's expecting to send me something and me get it to you, I'll do my best. Uh, yeah, I think publicly Lanky mentioned it. Yes, publicly I saw Lanky mention that, and oh my goodness, she's such an animal lover too. I mean, I know who isn't, right? I believe everybody in this community is really good to their kids and really good to their pets. I'm just gonna put that out there. I do not think anybody in that we come into contact with in this community is awful to their kids or their pets. I believe that, and I'm not making it up. Aw, hi AD, welcome in. Turquoise says my dog passed away July 31st. I still can't get over it. Thank God I still have her daughter. It's not the same. I'm sorry to hear that. Aw. I was talking with a friend last night, and she lives down in California, and she's a disabled person, and she has a service dog, and she has friends that have service dogs, and one of her friends is in the hospital. And the service dog is just like going nuts because he doesn't get to do his job because his master's in the hospital. And I was talking with her last night, and one of her friends' animals passed away, and it's like, the death of an animal sometimes is just so much more, I'm sorry, painful than the death of a human. I think I've probably cried more over losing an animal than I have most humans. Just saying. Love all the critters. I'm so sorry to hear that, Turquoise. That's just crappy. But I'm glad you have her daughter, but it's horrible. Oh, the potty mouth mama has. Shut up. They are not. I know what your kids are doing. They're running around mowing lawns and acting crazy and having a party. You guys are over there having a party. I already know. Yeah, that sucks. That really, really sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. I was wondering where you had been. Some people take time away from this area when they're having issues. I tend to do the same. I tend to just take some time away. But yeah, it really has been. 2020 is like is just trash. It's trash. I know for some people it's been good, and for some people their life hasn't changed at all. That blows me away. Other than maybe they had to wear a mask when they went to Target. Doesn't that surprise you? It's crazy. Or Home Goods or Hobby Lobby or whatever. And AD, I wonder, do we say that every year? I don't I don't know. I ask myself these questions because this has been a complete and utter shit show. But did I say in 2015, did I go, oh man? No, I don't think I did. I don't think I do every year. And it doesn't even take like the stars aligning perfectly and everything being perfect. I can have a bad thing happen and still have it be a great year. Um, but it's just been one hit after another this year for gosh, for so many people. Hey, Coffee with Cece, how are you, girl? Good to see you. It's been one hit after another. Um, she'd been sick for over a week before that, and so I was taking care of her and took a little break on good, yeah. And we need to take time away from stinking YouTube. I'm Behaven. Are you Miss Behaven? Good to see you. Good to see you. I like your new name, if that's you. Hi, Amanda Ray. Yeah, I'm getting ready to end actually because, like I was saying yesterday, I usually have about an hour and a half of me and then I run out of steam. AD says I try to start out New Year's with a positivity. You know what? I think most of us did try to start out this new year with positivity, like you said, with positivity. Hi, Amanda Ray. Welcome in. Um, you thought, yeah. I think most of us were like 2020, yay! And then, oh my Lord. The Lord is testing us. Are we passing or failing? As a society, I believe we are failing miserably, but each of us is only as good um, as the sum of our parts. So we can do better. I think we can try our best. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Coffee with Cece. Thank you so much. Um, I'm doing good. I'm hanging in there. I hope everybody else is. Turquoise, I am so sorry to hear the loss of your baby, your little baby doggy. And I hope that you heal up. And I'm praying for the people that have missing pets. Lanky Tor did talk about publicly. I don't know if her cat has come home. And then one other person that sent me a DM um, that hasn't mentioned. She may or may not be listening, but I don't want to. Yeah. I'm just praying for everybody. Just, keep whatever you believe in, positive thoughts. Try to stay positive. Try to stay focused on what your goals are because the only thing you can control this is for me. The only thing I can control are the things that are I have control over. Like, managing my finances, managing my house, managing my car, managing my friendships and my relationships. Like, it's a really good time to focus on relationships and family and friendships and those types of things because that's all we have. And, trying to plan for the worst possible scenario, but keep yeah, 2020, the year of clarity. A lot of people became woke this year, that's for sure. Lucy's World says her faith has grown stronger. Yep, it'll happen. Yeah, it'll happen. Kicking 2020 in the butt. You're so funny, Sally. But yeah, I'm not a victim of anything. I'm not. I haven't been. I'm just not. Um. Oh wow. Lucy's World said her shepherd had puppies a few hours ago. 8 of them. Yep. You know what? That's another problem. A lot of people haven't been able to get their animals fixed because of this situation. Yeah, you can have other vet visits, right? But you can't get an animal put under sedation, so they can't fix them. Sucks, man. I love puppies, says Turquoise. Amanda Ray, I'm managing my at-home workplace. Even though my coworkers are a pain in the butt, my coworkers, I mean my children. Well, Amanda Ray, if you're looking for any new ones, let me know. Yeah, puppies are the best. Hashtag puppies for sure. Yeah, people would love to see your puppies, Lucy's World. Listen, guys, I'm gonna go get some actual other stuff done, but I want to thank Nina's Kitchen for sparking my brain and giving me a little bit of a shot to think about, what do I want to do going forward? I don't know if my channel gets monetized again. I don't know if I do memberships again. I I don't know if I develop regular content as a channel owner, let's face it, I'm not a creator. As a channel owner, if I can become a creator, then yeah. If there's a consistent thing that I want to do, it's topical, like we do Lurkers Logic every Monday. We try to be there every Monday. If it's something like that, then absolutely. But we do have to be very, very careful what we say if we disagree with the powers that be. It can be a challenge. So we have to think about how we can work around that, or maybe stream on Twitch. Just saying. Twitch has not been hit as hard. Thank you, Cece. You too. Thank you so much, Nina's Kitchen, for your spark of inspiration. I appreciate you so very much. And thank you to Captain Obvious, and also for the Kiki Dono, and the other one from my friend here, who never chats but is listening. I appreciate your support always. Just your time, you guys, being here. It's awesome. Thank you so much. Twitch. Twitch is an alternative platform. Used to be mostly gaming. Then they had a social platform, which was Twitch Social. They got rid of it. It's twitch.tv. There are a lot of YouTubers that dual stream. They'll stream on YouTube and Twitch, or they'll multi-stream. They'll stream on YouTube, Twitch, DLive, and what's the other one? YouNow, which YouNow can go fuck themselves. What's the other one? Periscope. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you all have a beautiful day. I'm going to try to be here more often if I can think of some things to say. And I hope you guys have a fabulous rest of your week. Keep your eye on the prize. Stay positive and focused. And good thoughts to everybody out there. I wish you the best. And I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much. Bye.